What's up, guys? So today the plan is need to re-clutch my sled, because if you saw my whole stock versus BMP can video, I had to edit it and chop some pieces out, and that's because it was tacking the rev limiter. And that's not just because the track was off the ground when I was riding it. It was tacking like 8,400 RPMs, which is way too high. Alrighty, so here we are. We're at Ellis's house. Got his salt there. We got the project salt here. And like I was saying, I need to do something with the clutching on this. This thing is way off. It has way too light of weights for this elevation. Because around here we're at sea level, and we ride from here more often than not up the mountains. So yeah, pretty much that's not gonna work. It has 1062s in it currently, which is what's stock, and that's good for like 6,000 to 8,000 feet of elevation. So for here, around, like I was saying, sea level, I probably ride up to about 3,000 to 4,000 feet of elevation. So for a good all-around weight, I'm going to be running these, which, if I can get this to focus, these are 1066s. These are heavier weight. These will drop my peak RPM, and they're used. I've had them for quite a while. They're a little dirty. I'm gonna clean them up, but the bushings are good. The pins are good. I'm gonna run them. First things first, pull out the side panel. You're gonna grab your impact with a 13/16 socket. We're gonna take this bolt out. Like that. I'll switch to a 1/2 inch drive impact, and I also will need a 1 inch socket for a clutch pull. This just threads in. You want to make sure not to cross thread this, so I can do them in by hand for a little while so they're good and tight. Hopefully this thing will have enough ass to it to pop this off. Usually you gotta whack it with the hammer and stuff. They never just pop right off. Well, this thing is a turd. That's not gonna work. So let's have a look here, see if we can find a adapter. Badass impact. That is not it. There we go. So let's switch back to the Gates drive impact, because this one is generally pretty freaking badass. An adapter. Alright, now that the air compressor has some air, let's give this another shot. So that usually won't get it off. So you take yourself a big ass hammer, you're gonna hit it right on the end. You'll alternate between hitting it and using the impact, and basically this will pop right off. Just like that. Bam! That's money. So now, if you're new to doing clutch work, this is a tool I strongly recommend purchasing. What this is basically a compressor. You will set your clutch here, set it up so you can get all to your bolts, or to all of your bolts. You will simply press it, put the chain on. Now you can pull your bolts out. That way you can pull the cover and it won't just go flying when you take the last bolts out. But before we do that, something that a lot of people don't always remember to do, you want to take a marker and mark the clutch so you know how to put that cover back on, because it is a balanced assembly. we're going to need a socket, which if I remember right, I'm thinking either 7/16 or 3/8. Let's try 3/8. That'll do it. You can use power tools for disassembling it, but I would not use power tools. A little extension. I would not use a impact to put this together. Do it by hand. You do not want to strip these holes out. Just like that. Get the cover off. Now check, make sure all this is tight for the spider. And of course, you can look at your spring. This one's used, but this is a 140 330, basically stock primary spring, but these work very well. So I'm going to continue to use this because this one is not too old. Alright, so put this down. You're going to want to have the right Allen wrench, which if I remember right, this is, I have no idea what size this is. I don't know where that went. And then for these nuts, you're going to use a 3/8 box end wrench. You will use open end. So from here, if you're just doing an inspection to check your weights and your pins and your rollers, what you're going to do is you're going to be looking, let's see, get this focused in up here. You'll be looking at this bushing here, making sure it's perfectly round, not kind of egged out. You will look at your pins. Make sure when these get wore out, they have a thin spot here in the middle. And you can put the pin in the weight itself and see if you have excessive amount of play. These are tight, but these are 1062s, which, as I've already told you, are far too light for an 800 at sea level. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull all the rest of these out real quick. Now on the clutch itself, what you're going to want to be looking at here is these rollers. You want to check these, make sure they all have smooth operation and they do not have flat spots on the roller itself. So now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and take some brake clean and clean these up because they are quite dirty, but it is what it is. There are good weights. And that's just kind of one of the things you have to do every once in a while. You do have to clean these or they will stick on you and do all kinds of stuff, and it will in the end hurt your performance. And literally to clean these weights, all I do is I spray them with brake clean, take a rag, and I clean them off. That's all there is to it. And every once in a while, if you're not tearing your clutch apart, it is a good idea to take you know, your air nozzle, like say this one right here. Use your air compressor to blow all of the clutch dust out of there. That will also help with the life of your wearable items and will keep your performance up for a longer time. Alright, now that we have all three of our clutch weights as clean as they will get, we are going to go ahead and install these in the primary clutch. Do that, it's literally just the exact opposite of taking them out. Set this in place. You will take your pin, work it through. Just like that. Take a nut, get it started. These in place. Something you will want to do is just make sure that this clutch will freely, you know, go up and down. This one is feeling pretty good. I've definitely felt a lot worse. it's always good to inspect your shaft, give her a little clean, because it never works. You don't want to really soak anything in there. These bushings do tend to like to be dry. But I'm going to put a little bit of brake clean on the rag, and then give the shaft a little wipe down. I'll ensure any belt dust or anything of the sort that has accumulated on the shaft will inevitably be cleaned off. Operating, pretty much, they'll just ensure you're getting a smoother operation out of your clutch. It's the little things make all the difference in the world. Alright, let's see if you can see this. See that shaft in there, how nice and clean that is? That's what you want to see. That's me from there. This thing is one smooth clutch. So you're going to want to throw your spring back on. I'm looking for my indication marks. But from here, you're going to want to center this up. Use this compression tool to compress this down onto the shaft. We'll want to line it all up so all these bolts go into their homes. Just like that, this clutch is back together. This is ready to go back on the sled. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm doing a bunch of running around, okay? Like a lot. And so I took the salt out for a little ride yesterday, and it was spinning the track when it was at idle, and the belt was squeaking. So it's like, okay, I need to adjust my secondary because it was riding super high, which was making the belt tight around the clutches. And so I went to do that. I noticed this was already backed out. And as you can see, it's now broken. It's all rusted looking in there. Yeah, so that's not good. So it's like, okay, whatever. I went and grabbed this fancy, really it's the exact same thing. It's just actually from Team, so it comes ready because it's 4 players. So I went and grabbed this. This is from my old 860 Big Bore Pro RMK. So it has a super aggressive helix in it. Like, yeah, it'll work, but it won't be optimal. I don't think my 800 probably bogged like crazy. There's no way I could pull a secondary with this steep ramps on it. So I was trying to get them out. I got 2 out. These 2 refused to because this Torx bit is all beat up, wore out, and it's just not going to happen. Yes, I did hit them like you're supposed to. I did not use heat yet, but I was just like, oh my god, this is not working out in my favor. And I was like, man, what if I had another secondary? Bam! $300 Parts IQ RMK Dragon came in clutch. Get it? Anyways, so this has literally the exact same helix in it as what the stock clutch for this sled had. So I mean, it couldn't be any better. So for now, I'm going to run this secondary. It will work. Will work pretty good. Eventually, yeah, I am going to swap this one just because this red, it's dirty right now, but when this is cleaned up, oh man, this thing looks good. It looks super good on there. So eventually I will be swapping to this secondary. But for now, 2008 RMK secondary, it's the exact same thing. So that worked out great.